Aloha everyone, what's everybody doing? And it's Beyond. And today we'll be doing another reaction video. This one is going to be a way lot different because this is a part 1 to this one. I'm going to be reacting to the deadliest hotel in Los Angeles. So I hope you guys like it. If you do, please feel pick this up, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's get started.
Is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a domain website or an online store, make it with Squarespace. Check out Squarespace for a free trial. There is a link below. In today's Geographics, we're headed for downtown Los Angeles, to the area known as Skid Row. At the intersection of South Main and 7th Street stands the Cecil Hotel, which is known as the deadliest hotel in LA, or LA's Tower of Terror, or even as the most haunted hotel in Los Angeles. Throughout its history, the Cecil's repeated cases of crime, suicide, and murder are undeniable. But are all the stories about the Cecil true? Is the hotel a real-life cursed palace that attracts unfortunate visitors only?
I never heard of this hotel, guys.
Or has its mythology been exaggerated over time?
So, this is a surprise to me.
Because it's time to check in at the Cecil Hotel.
I never heard of this hotel, I promise. So this is a surprise to me. Cecil Hotel.
The Cecil Hotel's construction was completed in late 1924 by the company Weymouth Cromwell, contracted by hotel entrepreneur William Banks Hanna. Hanna invested approximately $1 million at the time, and in today's money that would be around $14 million. For his money, he got one of the largest hotels on the West Coast in the 1920s, standing 14 stories tall and offering...
Dang, that's really tall.
From the outside, the Cecil may appear as a simple building made of concrete and bricks, but the interior is far more striking. Hanna demanded a grandiose look for the lobby and main staircase in order to attract a wealthy clientele of international businessmen and social elites. The interior...
I'll probably stop at 11 minutes and 10 seconds because, like I said, I can't do long videos. No, probably like 12 minutes. Because I can't do long videos, guys.
The type of guests Hanna had in mind, but it also started attracting trouble from the get-go. The first reported death took place on June the 19th, 1926, when a retired mining employee, William McKay, died of natural causes in his room. So, well, really nothing to see here, so let's move along. A more exciting event happened 8 months later, in February of 1927. John Crenow, a long-term resident of the Cecil, received an unexpected form of room service consisting of a pair of handcuffs. Crenow, a notorious burglar, was apprehended by the LAPD in his hotel room, the first arrest to happen at the Cecil. To further add to this series of firsts, let's skip ahead to April 1929, when 33-year-old Dorothy Robinson was taken from the hotel to a local hospital in a dazed condition that lasted for 3 days.
Wow.
Robinson's husband had died just 1 month prior.
I wonder why this is the deadliest hotel.
Prescribed barbiturates on which she had just overdosed. Was this accidental or the first of...
Again, I have no idea what this hotel is. This is a surprise to me.
Take note of that year,
And I never heard of this hotel before.
This was the year that changed everything, with the beginning of the Great Depression. The economic downturn struck hard at the downtown and main areas, which slowly but inexorably became a congregating point for vagabonds, sex workers, drug dealers, fencers, and other elements of the so-called underworld, hoping to lose their scent. The area would later become infamous as Skid Row. Unsurprisingly, the Cecil lost much of its prestige, threatened by the double-pronged attack of the recession and competition from other hotels in better parts of LA. From a hotel intended for international business, it first became a resting point for local traveling salesmen, little more than a motel in the middle of a city. By the early 1930s, its reputation as a seedy establishment was solidified. Take the case of George Ford, for example. In August 1931, the 40-year-old was arrested at the Cecil for attempting to sell 10 pounds of opium. This sale was going to be for $10,000, about $156,000.
If I remember, that's translated to drugs.
Was the comment from the Los Angeles Times, which said, "One of the most important captures made here in many months." So let's unpack that. One of the most important arrests made at the hotel in many months implies that arrests were taking place at the Cecil on a fairly regular basis by 1931. Soon, the number of mentions for the Cecil in the crime pages of local newspapers started piling up. Earlier, I spoke about the first attempted suicide. Well, on November the 16th, 1931, the LA Times reported the first case of a completed suicide at the Cecil a type of event for which it would sadly become infamous.
Suicide Hotel.
W.K. Norton, aged 46, had been missing for days from his house in Manhattan Beach, some 24 miles, 38 kilometers, by car from the Cecil. On November the 15th, 1931, he was found in his hotel room dead from a suspected suicide by poison. He had checked in under the assumed name of James Willies. Less than a year later, a 25-year-old Benjamin Doddick took his own life with a shot to the head. I'm not going to go into the details of every single case of suicide, but by the end of the 1930s, 7 guests had made an attempt in one sort or another. Only one of them survived. The most puzzling case was that of Gracie Magro, also only 25, who had apparently
Never heard of
from a
this
ninth
person.
floor window during the night, hitting some telephone poles during a descent. When she hit the pavement, her body was entangled in telephone wires. The details that made Gracie's suicide particularly puzzling was that she was not alone when she fell out of her window. Her boyfriend, a sailor from the USS Virginia, was sleeping in the same room. He hadn't noticed anything out of the ordinary and could not explain Grace's actions. The rate of suicides slowed down in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, but the accounts of guests jumping out of the Cecil's windows never really stopped. The most spectacular case happens on October the 12th, 1962. Pauline Otten, aged 27, and her estranged husband Dewey had been attempting a reconciliation. Earlier that day, Pauline had paid a surprise visit to Dewey at his place of work with the hope of sorting out their relationship. Perhaps to avoid a scene at work, Dewey had convinced Pauline to relocate their discussion to the nearby Cecil. They checked into a room on the 9th floor, and it is unclear how long they spent in there. What is clear is that Dewey eventually left the room to eat dinner alone, and after he walked out, Pauline climbed out onto the ledge and jumped. Normally, we might say that she jumped to her death, but in this case, it's more correct to say she jumped to their death. As Pauline hit the ground, she did not land on the sidewalk, but on a completely unsuspecting passerby, George Giannini, an elderly retiree. Both of them died instantly. Initially, the police thought that both individuals had jumped at the same time in some sort of suicide pact. That is, until someone noticed that George still had his shoes on. According to experts, the impact of his body falling to the ground would have sent them flying across the sidewalk. All in all, 11 suicides took place at the Cecil. These continued occurrences are what has led fans of the occult to speculate that the hotel may cast some sort of curse on its occupants. The idea is both frightening and intriguing, of course. A real-life overlook hotel in the heart of downtown LA, just like in Stephen King's novel about a malevolent building with the power to push its guests to insanity. But let's bring in our good old debunking friend, statistics. According to a study by N.L. Farborough and M.D. Simon, the suicide rate in Los Angeles in 1967 was 18 cases per 100,000 inhabitants, a rate that's considered to be high. Now let's apply that rate to the population of the 700-room Cecil Hotel.
Again, guys, I have no idea what this hotel is. It was requested by Dark. Trying to remember the Nightlight Fury. I think that's how you say it, but I already get the name wrong, but I can't remember. But this was requested. Dang, 18,000, 1,500 guests? That's a lot. Like I said, I have no idea what this hotel is.
It would have been perfectly normal for 3 by 31, that's 93, would have been perfectly normal for 93 suicides to happen at the hotel instead of 11. Well, maybe not, and probably I've overestimated the so-called universe of Cecil guests, but even so, the average suicide rate for Los Angeles would make it absolutely possible for 11 cases of people taking their own lives in this same location. With that in mind, does this grant the Cecil's reputation for being a mythical cursed palace? Unfortunately, there are other kinds of violent deaths to haunt the halls and rooms of the hotel. But just before we get into those, I do want to take a moment to tell you about the sponsor of today's episode, Squarespace. Squarespace allows you to create a powerful online identity. Maybe you're running a hotel and you want a place to represent it online, or, maybe you're not, but maybe you do have a business or you just need a personal website like I do. It all starts on Squarespace with a beautiful templates that come with cool names like Pursuit and Royce, and, well, the coolness of the names matches the coolness of the templates. You can also start from scratch, or you can move over from an existing domain, making everything super easy to manage. And once you've gone through a super easy customization process, there's no updates, there's no patches to deal with, it's really very hands-off. But just in case you do run into any issues, Squarespace has got 24/7 support who are there to help you out whenever you've got a question. And Squarespace isn't just about an online presence, you can also totally sell stuff or services on a Squarespace site. So look, if you're looking to start a business, pursue a dream, something like that, well, do it with Squarespace. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/geographics to save.
Like I said, I'm going to pause now because at 12 minutes.
Let's get back to it.
Homicide Hotel. I think this is where I'm going to pause because I want to,
Instance of confirmed homicide to plague the Cecil was also the
I'll try to remember what part I was on.
The death of a newborn baby. In early September 1944, the lifeless body of a baby was found on the roof of a building adjacent to the Cecil. The LAPD
Because like I said, I can't do more than 15-minute videos.
Purcell, who had been staying at the hotel for several days with her lover, a shoe salesman twice her age, named Ben Levine. Police discovered that one night Dorothy had woken up with intense abdominal pain. Not wanting to wake up Ben, she went to the bathroom and, to her complete surprise, gave birth to a baby boy. Confused and in pain, she thought that the infant was a stillborn. For fear of compromising her relationship with Levine, she made a terrible decision. She dropped the boy from the window. And like that, she went back to bed. The forensic surgeon, though, found that the boy had air in his lungs. He was born alive. The trial concluded in January 1945, where Dorothy was found not guilty by reason of insanity. So what became of her? Well, it could be a total coincidence, but Dorothy Jean Purcell, whose age matches that of our protagonist, married a US Navy yeoman in 1965 and died in the year 2000. The next murder in the unlucky hotel was perpetrated on June the 5th, 1964. The victim was Goldie Olson, a retired phone operator known as Pigeon Goldie, after a habit of feeding pigeons in nearby Pershing Square. Her body was found by a hotel employee. She had been stabbed, strangled, and raped. Goldie was remembered by the LA Times as a kindly woman whose most violent act had been to scare away the larger birds.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you guys like this video, give this video a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and leave a comment. Subscribe to your channels on my site thing, and yeah. Guys, again, I'm almost close to 360 subscribers. 360 subscribers. That's a lot. If I can check out, I really appreciate it, because again, this will get me much closer to my goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 people watching. So if I reach that goal, I really appreciate it, because again, these videos are not possible without you guys, and I love you guys so much for all your support. Like I always say, I always mean. And you guys have 4 videos of me and Espion. Espion, say goodbye. Espion. And yeah. Also, like I said, I have no idea what this hotel is. This was requested by, I think it's Start the Moonlight. I can't remember, but Nightlight. But she requested this, and thought I would try watching this and see why it's called the deadliest hotel ever. So yeah, now I find out why it's called the deadliest hotel. So yeah, she requested this, and I kind of went with it. So I don't know what this hotel is. I'll watch some more tomorrow. So yeah. Alright guys, there you go. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys for tomorrow for part 2 of my reaction to Celestia's Hotel. Alright guys, there you go. Goodbye, and have a good day or night.